This is Kiran Kumar, Assistant Professor, CSE Department, ITM Engineering College. It is located in Tech College, Srikakulam. Okay, so today I will explain data warehousing and mining concept. Okay, so introduction basics. So what is data mining and what is data warehouse and what is the functionality of this? Then why you have to use this data mining and data warehousing? Okay, so first of all, when you go for this data mining and warehousing concept, okay, uh, yes, so introduction part and fundamentals of data mining functionalities, task primitives, and OLAP. Okay, so in introduction part, data mining. Data mining is a process of extracting insights from large data sets. Okay, so before data mining, you know about what is data or what is information. What is data or what is information? Okay, you know students, information or data is nothing but like it is a set of or group of strings, characters, and sentence formation is nothing but data. Okay, so in this data you have to store different locations. Okay, different locations you have to store this. Not only single type of data. So different relevant data is there, irrelevant data is there. If it is relevant and relevant that is secondary, okay, but this data will be stored into one location. Okay, so this one is this is the small introduction of mining. This mining is a process of extracting insights large data sets using statistical and computational techniques. Okay, so this data mining, the backend of data mining, okay, some approaches are there. The primary approach is like database, and second one is warehouse, and the third one is transactions. Okay, so already told you students, data mining the in the form of data, and you can store the data and load the data in particular device. The device is permanent device. Okay, so first of all, the how the data can be mined. How the data can be mined by using the primary is database, second one is warehouse, and the third one is transactional. Okay, so what is database? Database means you can store the data. So with the help of RDBMS, with the help of RDBMS. Okay, so people, so RDBMS is nothing but a relational database management system. Relational database management system. It is a backend of database. It is a backend of database. With the help of RDBMS, we have to we have to develop database. So what is RDBMS? Relational database management system. Relational database management system. Sir, how to generate this relational database management system? I will tell you pin to pin. And the second one is data warehouse. The second one is data warehouse, and the third one is transactional. Okay. So first of all, you go for database. Okay. So it is with the help of RDBMS database have to done. Okay. Relational database management system. So this relational database management system is nothing but in the form of tables. Okay, tables. With the help of tables, we have to generate relational database management system. Okay, sir, how to generate this? How to form this RDBMS with the help of tables? Okay, with the help of tables. So the tables will like this. This is the tables. Okay, sir, how to frame the tables with the help of rows and columns? With the help of rows and columns. Okay, so these all are stored into one particular location. That location name is like DBMS or database. Okay, so in this database, relevant data is there and irrelevant data is there. So relevant data is there. Okay, relevant data is there and irrelevant data. This both data stored into database with the help of RDBMS, with the help of this rows and columns, Okay, this is a basic functionality of database or database management system. That is the first approach. So this is the back end of data mining. This is the back end of data mining. Okay, guys. And second approach is okay, warehouse. Okay, so data warehouse, already you know data. Okay, now warehouse. So warehouse is nothing but irrelevant data. For example, sir, here collecting of data integrated from different resources, guys. Different sources or different resources. Okay, so here you know source means it is like a input. Okay, the combination of the source is like for example destination is my output. Okay, even this data warehouse with the help of, sir, how to frame this data warehouse? Okay, with the help of different integrated sources means here primary source, secondary source, third source. So I will be explain clearly what is a source. Source means my input. It is also one location, students. It is also one location. Okay, first location, second location, and third location. So here my first location name is data source 1. Here my second location name is data source 2. Here my third location name is data source 3. Okay, clear? So for example, sir, I have to replace the name data source 1 is like EMP1. Okay, and second one is for example EMP2, and third one is for example EMP3, sir. EMP3. So these three are sources. Only inputs, students. Only inputs. Okay, primary input, secondary input, and third input. Primary input is data source 1, data source 2, data source 3. So data source 1 you have to store some employee 1 data. Data source 2 you have to store some employee 2 data, and data 3 source you have to store some employee 3 data. Okay. Now my goal is with the help of data warehousing mechanism, I have to retrieve my data. Okay, how? With the help of this is the inputs. These three are inputs. Okay, these three are inputs. First one, second one, and third one. With the help of one important tool, like the tool name is ETL. ETL. So, sir, madam, here ETL is nothing but extract, transform, and load process. Extract, transform, and load process. By using this mechanism, we have to retrieve the data. We have to retrieve the data from different resources. From different resources. The primary resource is DS1, like employee 1 student, and second one is employee 2, and third one is employee 3. Okay, we can mine the data with the help of extract, transform, and loading process. Extract, like ETL, extract, transform, and loading process. After the data, the entire data will be stored, the plain data will be stored into one device, that is my warehouse. That is my warehouse. Simply have to set here this ETL and the data warehouse is nothing but like process, like this is the process. Okay, so here my input is employee 1, employee 2, and employee 3. The output will be generated. The output will be generated like visualization, reporting, and intelligence. Okay, the output will like visualization, reporting, and business intelligence. Okay, these all are my second mechanism. My second mechanism is like already this first mechanism database, and second one is data warehouse. The data warehouse is like this second mechanism. Okay, so this is the very important regarding for what? Warehousing and mining. Very important. This data warehouse is very important. With the help of this ETL tool, okay, you can extract the data from different resources. Primary, secondary, and third one, like data source 1, data source 2, and data source 3. Okay, after that the data will be visible like visualization, reporting, and business intelligence and business intelligence. Okay, and the third mechanism is transactional. I think you know very well transactional. Nowadays, in banking sector, in railway reservation counter tickets or RTC tickets or any booking system, you have to use transactional. So what is transactional? Transactional in data mining, transactional is nothing but it have to mine the some records like transactions, like such as purchases, like booking system, like user click systems. Okay, these all are is based into the term only for a transaction case. Okay, so here the best example is banking system is the best example and sales is the second example, etc. Okay, transaction, it is nothing but like some records transaction. So the data will be transaction to that different locations along with my different resources. Okay, these are the three important main mechanisms. The primary is the database, second one is warehouse, and the third one is transactional. Okay, so next one is yes. So functionalities. So these functionalities are in data mining. Some functionalities are there. First one is data is always associated with class, and second one is mining frequent pattern associated and correlations, and the third one is classification and regression predictive analysis, and the fourth one is cluster analysis, and the last one is outlier analysis. Okay, guys. So here the first functionalities is this. These are the five functionalities. The first one is associated with the class or concept. You know, students. So class is nothing but here. This associated class is nothing but here some objects. Okay, with the help of objects, we have to frame different classes. Okay, class or concept with that. So it is nothing but a class concept. Okay, yes. Second one is mining frequent patterns association correlations. Okay, we have to mining. So this frequent patterns. So these frequent patterns, associations, and correlations is nothing but frequently have to use some items frequently. So number of times you have to use items and apply the mining for that items. Then automatically you have to generate. We have to get for a different result. That is second one. Okay, and third one is classification and regression for predictive analysis. Okay, so when you go for this predictive analysis means you have to predict to the data. Okay, so already you know in data warehouse mechanism here you have to take three sources. Okay, employee 1, employee 2, employee 3. So when you apply this predictive analysis for that data sources, then you have to get different result for this predictive case. And cluster analysis. Okay, so this cluster analysis for example, these are the some few points of associated with the class and concept. Okay, so the first case is in this case, yes, in the data is always associated with the class. Already class is nothing but like some type of set of objects. So again, these have two mechanisms. The primary is data characterization and secondary is data discrimination. Data characterization and the data discrimination. Okay, so this data characterization is nothing but it is a general overview of the class. Okay, it is nothing but a general overview of the class. Basically, you know, this is class is nothing but some objects. Okay, overall the general overview of the entire class is cleared for what? Characterization. And the second one is discrimination. Okay, the second one is discrimination. So discrimination nothing but similar like characterization. The discrimination nothing but the output will be generated like some type of graphical pictorial representation. Like the primary is bar charts and the second one is curves. Primary is bar charts and second one is curves. Okay, these two are the two major operations, two major mechanisms of my first function. That is associated with the class or concept. So primary is characterization and secondary is discrimination. So characterization is nothing but enter the overview of the class. Overview of the class will be generated for what? Which mechanism? The data characterization. And the second one is discrimination. The output will be generated for what? Bar charts and curves. Okay. And next mechanism is, next one is, second function is mining frequent pattern associations with correlations. Correlations. So it is purely for what? It is purely, okay, mining frequent pattern association and correlations. It is purely based on that condition. Condition means like if it is yes or no. Okay, if it is yes or no, like if then else, if then else. For example, if the condition is true, then the output will be generated if statement. Okay, if the condition is false, if the condition is false, like else case, then the output will be generated false case. Okay, and it will be measured by some statistical measure identifies and different variables. Okay, that is the mining frequent pattern and associations and correlations. Okay, and the next one is, the third one is classification. The third one is classification and regression for predictive analysis. Okay, so in this case, we have to use some prediction, some predictive case. Okay, predictive case. For example, so here basically this is my one method. For example, in this case, some data is there. The primary is some data with attributes like for example name, rank, years, and some conditions. Here, by using some algorithms, we have to predict my data. Okay, here basically one data set is there. Okay, then here my data is for example here names and some here I have to use some type of designations and years and conditions. Okay, if S, then put the S. If the no, the conditions go for second case. With the help of some algorithms. Which algorithms? Classification algorithms. So classification algorithms means like for example KNN algorithm is the one of the example of classification algorithm. Okay, first one. Next one is decision trees. Okay, decision trees is one of the second algorithms, and the third one is random forest, and the third one is random forest. These are the algorithms we have to use. We have to predict that data with the help of, for what? The data is available for training case. Okay, in database, this entire data is stored into my database. Okay, clear? when you apply these algorithms like KNN and decision trees and random forest algorithm, you have to predict my data and stored into my destination place. Okay, and the next one is, the fourth one is cluster analysis. Okay, so this cluster is nothing but group of similar data objects. Okay, group of similar data objects. Okay, into that different clusters such that like the same cluster. For example, so here totally in x-axis some income is there, and y-axis some debit operation is there, debit case is there. So here different clusters are there. The primary cluster is like some for example this is A, and this one is B, and this one is C. Okay, the first cluster is like A. Inside for what? Some objects are there. And the second cluster is for example B. Here some objects are there. And third one is for example C. That is some objects. Inside some objects are there. Okay, so different items for A and B is different items are there, and C is different items are there. Then you have to, here three clusters, three different objects are three different type of objects are there. So okay, it doesn't mismatch with A to B and B to C, like A to C and C to B, like B to C and B to A. Okay, so these are the only for cluster case. Okay, Basically cluster is nothing but it is a group of for what? Objects. So each and every cluster have, for example, have by default some objects will be there. Objects, first one, second one, and third one, Okay, different. So these all cluster will be stored into some access. Okay, yes. And the next one is yes, outlier analysis. Okay, so outlier analysis is a data it is also one of the mining processing of identifying and examining data points for significantly from the different data sets. So for example, so this case here also same the diagrammatic representation. Okay, so here this green color representation is for what? It is also some objects. Okay, objects. This all objects is stored into one particular device, one particular location. Okay, so for example, these all objects name are for example, these are for example apples. Okay, this green color representation for what? These all are for what? Some apples. Okay, so here for example the red color representation object is there, that is for example that is cherry, for example. So it is here the main difference between the first object and second object. The first object and second object. The first objects are different product is there, and the second object and single product is there. Like for example, so this is a mismatch with what? First to second and second to first. First to second and second to first. Okay. So this is the concept of outlier analysis. Okay, outlier analysis. So this is the primary is the first object, the second one is second object. Okay, this object 2 is mismatched with the object 1, at the same time object 1 is mismatched with the object 2. This is the concept of for what? Outlier analysis. That's why the definition of outlier analysis is a data mining is the process identifying and examining data points that significantly deviate from the majority of the data set. The majority of the data sets. Okay. Yes. So these are the main functionalities of my data mining. Okay. So first one is like data is always associated with the class. Okay. Second one is mining frequent pattern associations and correlations, and the third one is classification regression for predictive analysis, and the fourth one is cluster analysis, and the last one is outlier analysis. And the last one is outlier analysis. These are the 5 main functionalities of my data mining. Okay, and after you have to go for some primitives. Okay, task primitives. So here these task primitives. Basically, in data mining, you have to use different tasks. Okay, so the first one is task relevant data, and second one is kind of knowledge data mined, and the third one is background knowledge, and the last one is representation for visualization. So students, the task relevant is, okay, when you go for the first mechanism, the first task, okay, relevant data. Okay, for example in a database or data set. Okay, in a data set you have to mine for database and data set. Then here you have to use the form of attributes tables and different selected data sets there. Okay, then you have to relevant data is there. If the relevant data is there, then relevant data you have to apply for mining. Then you have to remove that irrelevant data. Okay, and second one is kind of knowledge to be mined. Okay, kind of knowledge to be mined. Okay, with the help of some association, some outliers, some classifications, we have to mind that my analysis case. Okay, and next one is background knowledge. In this background knowledge is purely based into that different patterns, different hierarchical structures, patterns and hierarchical structures, like some type of decision trees. Okay, and the last one is representation for visualization. So this representation visualization means when you complete my portion, when you complete my these primitives, when complete my mechanism, the output will be generated. The output will be generated. For example, different bar charts and different tables and different charts. Okay, so these are the main primitives of mining. Primary is task relevant data, second one is knowledge to be mined, and third one is background, and the last one is visualization. These four are the very important for task primitives. Okay, so next mechanism is, and the last one is OLAP. Okay, OLAP. So OLAP, it is nothing but online analytical processing. Okay, it is nothing but online analytical processing. So what is the use of this OLAP? Okay, so this OLAP representation it is a pictorial representation. Okay, it is nothing but some data model, like multi-dimensional data model. Okay, in multi-dimensional data model organized with different multi or multiple dimensions, different multiple dimensions. Okay, basically the representation of that OLAP is, so right side we have people, right side we have one diagram. Okay, this is OLAP block diagram. Okay, block diagram. So here for what? Only some data models, and representation of that one is data cubes. Okay, the representation of that one is data cubes. Basically, OLAP have four mechanisms. The first one is roll up, second one is drill down, third one is slice, and the fourth one is pivot. So this roll up is nothing but it is a hierarchical structure. Okay, it is a tree structure. First one. Okay, and second one is like this. This is these four cubes are like my hierarchical structure. Okay, and second one is drill down. It is a quite opposite of roll up mechanism. This drill down is the quite a reverse operation of roll up. Okay, like for example, here four quarters are there: Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. Okay, so these four compress purpose and reduce purpose have to, these four locations I will be go for stored into, like for example 12 months I have to take. Okay, and next one is, the third one is slice. It is a some small selection part of my dimension. Okay, like this is one slice. It is a some subpart of dimension. This is one slice. Okay, this one is one slice, and this one is one slice. Okay, this is for what? This is a roll up mechanism. And the last one is pivot. It is also, it is a nothing but it is also one of the mechanism, one of the type of OLAP. Okay, online analytic processing. Okay, this pivot is a one of the rotation operation of my data cube. Okay, so these four are the operations of online analytical processing. Okay, this entire mechanism, before OLAP we have to this mechanism do for like some type of warehousings and some type of primitives and some type of mechanisms of for example functionalities. So without using these all things with the help of OLAP, then we have to do that these are all mining operations with the help of with the operations of, for what? These four operations. Primary is roll up, second one is drill down, third one is slice, and fourth one is pivot. Okay, this is the block diagram of, this is the entire pictorial representation of block diagram of my online analytical processing. Okay, so this is the concept of mining case. Okay, introduction and basic knowledge of mining. Okay, clear? So first one is introduction case, and the second with the help of these mechanisms. Which mechanisms? Like database and warehouse transactional, we have to mine my data. Okay, so with the help of warehousing, okay, with the help of ETL tool, we have to visualize my data. Okay, inputs of warehouses, sources, source 1, source 2 and source 3, and with the help of functionalities you have to mining the data. That functionalities is these 5 functionalities, like data is shared with the class, and frequent, and outliers. Okay, so and the last one is OLAP. Okay, clear? So thank you so much.